this is the worst self-inflicted wound that I have ever seen an administration impose on a well-functioning economy. It is, if you take the whole complex of Trump policies, tariffs that, as I just said, could cost the average household up to around $4,000 a year. The DOGE cuts in services, whether it's for our veterans, Social Security, the Internal Revenue Service, the agencies the public interacts with, a spending plan that is likely to involve huge cuts in Medicaid and food stamps that lower income families particularly rely on, all in order to support tax cuts that mainly benefit the wealthy. You had an administration that said it's worker focused, and I really can't think of an overall economic agenda that could be more devastating on every front, from tariffs to cuts in government services to leaving very large deficits, taking policies that will expand the deficit when we need to see exactly the opposite.
经济衰退是一定会衰退，因为我认为是几乎是100%。人类面对经济上的灾难，政府官员胡搞瞎搞造成的。你事先没有想清楚，结果你的关税公式是抄一篇叫最适当关税税率的论文，还把人家公式给抄错。那你不是白目吗？白宫是白目，对全世界风险是很大。难道他以后在决定要不要核子武器也是这个模式吗？所以才会被 Summers 嘲笑说这橡胶共和国。
川普呢暂缓了关税90天嘛，不过呢你衰退的疑虑还是很大，这是呢美国前财长桑莫斯说的。我们来看看呢他怎么说哈，他说呢，这个霸凌式退缩，看到美国仿效香蕉共和国的政策跟市场的模式，真是可悲呀哈。他也示警说，新的关税会让美国的每户家庭损失$2000，然后呢高盛也说美国经济可能还面临45% 衰退的风险。摩根大通甚至说，经济衰退的几率高达60%。
这个经济衰退是一定会衰退，因为它毕竟它还增加了10%的关税嘛。
对，
那只是反应没那么强烈，股市可以回到稍微比较平稳的，但是不要幻想股市会像今天一样一涨回去，不是，它只是回复到原点，然后同时因为放空的回补，所以有点购买的力道把股市推上去，但不会一直往上走。10%的关税，大家都要去仔细算一下，对美国的债务负担对多少，对其他国家债务负担多少，这个就会构成美国通货膨胀以及美国经济衰退的原因。所以没有人说美国经济不衰退啊，
对，
它应该还会掉到2%下面啦。那这样一来的话，有人说40%，有人说50%，我认为是几乎是100%，除非你到时候90天后，关税不再课了啊，才有这个机会。要不然的话，这个经济衰退只是多跟少而已了。好，那美国的财长是嘲笑他是香蕉共和国的这种决策模式。香蕉共和国的决策模式在嘲笑以前中南美洲很多国家在做决策的时候都是迷迷糊糊乱做一通，然后出了问题又迷迷糊糊撤退，然后你没有人知道他在干什么。我们如果翻开人类的经济史人类面对经济上的灾难，就是2个原因。第一个原因是什么？是大自然造成的。那第二个原因是什么？政府官员胡搞瞎搞造成的。其实这2个原因最严重，其他的能够稍微经济自然运转的话，都不会出太大的问题。那川普这个是香蕉共和国的第2个原因，就是什么？胡搞瞎搞啊！
对啊，
你事先没有想清楚。结果你的关税公式是抄一篇叫最适当关税税率的论文，还把人家公式给抄错。那你不是摆明你是白目吗？白宫是白目，对全世界风险是很大。难道他以后在决定要不要核子武器也是这个模式吗？所以才会被 Summers 嘲笑说这橡胶共和国。我看是酸亚吧，芒果共和国。
Mr. Trade Representative, are you aware that the tariffs have been paused?
I am, yes.
When were you made aware of that?
Well, I understood the decision was made a few minutes ago. It's something
Sitting here,
under discussion.
Sitting here under discussion. So did you know that this was under discussion, and why did you not include that as part of your opening remarks?
So typically what I don't do is divulge the contents of my discussions with
What are the
President
details of the pause?
Well, my understanding is that because so many countries have decided not to retaliate, we're going to have about 90 days.
No, excuse me? China increased their tariffs on the United States. Trump blinked.
What's the blink, sir?
What do you know about this pause? What are the details of it?
Well, the details, as I understand it, is that China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate. The president 2 or 3 days ago said we wanted to negotiate with those countries that asked for meetings. That's what we're doing.
What are the
We've had
details? How long is the pause? How many days? How many weeks?
I understand it's 90 days. I haven't spoken to the president since I've
So
been
the trade representative hasn't spoken to the president of the United States about a global reordering of trade.
Yes, I have. I've
And
just
yet
been in the hearing with you, sir.
But yet he announced it on a tweet. WTF? Who's in charge?
The president of the United States is in charge.
And what do you know about those details?
Well, as I mentioned,
It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you and paused the tariffs, the taxes on the American people. There's no strategy. You just found out 3 seconds ago sitting here. We saw you.
we've been discussing a
If
variety
you
of
came
these
here knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the president, sir.
These were specific questions we asked you all along. What's the strategy? These are real consequences for the American people and small businesses. I had a group of small businesses in my office earlier today talking about the impacts of these tariffs on aluminum and steel. This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop. What does this even mean for your negotiating strategy? How are you in charge of negotiation if the president is tweeting about this from wherever the hell he is?
The president was elected, and he runs the trade policy, and I advise him and execute his
Who
trade
executes
policy.
the trade policy?
I execute the trade
Did you
policy.
know
with the president.
that this was happening?
We have been discussing all kinds of
And there's another
options.
member of the cabinet, Bessent, who just canceled coming to the Hill to avoid talking about the market because it's in turmoil. This in just days because there was no strategy, there was no plan. The president chose to take actions that he didn't even have the authority to take. He's put our economy in disarray and near collapse. We have small businesses and Americans who are concerned about their well-being, people's retirement, people's 529 accounts went down because of this administration. We have people that are planning to send their kids to college this fall. People who are retiring whose benefits have declined. Is this market manipulation?
No.
Why not? If it was a plan, if it was always the plan, how is this not market manipulation?
It's not market manipulation, sir.
Well, then what is it? Because it sure is not a strategy.
We're trying to reset the global trade system.
And
That's offshored all of our factories.
And what has that done?
offshored all of
How
our
have you
jobs.
done? How have you achieved any of that? But to enact enormous harm on the American people, which was our concern from the very beginning. Tariffs are a tool. It can be used in the appropriate way to protect U.S. jobs and small businesses. But that's not what this does. So if it's not market manipulation, what is it? Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer? And all the while, there are not even any Republicans left in this hearing. They all left because they don't even want to defend this. But meanwhile, the speaker is rushing to the floor to pass a budget reconciliation to screw America by passing the biggest tax cut in history on the backs of the American people. WTF? Who's in charge? Because it sure doesn't look like it's the trade representative. You just got the rug pulled out from under you. I wish I could feel some empathy, but the empathy I have is for the American people whose very well-being and livelihoods are being affected. This is not a game. This is real life. I yield back.